Okay, so today we are going to discuss how to implement lightning component. Okay, how to design a lightning component in lightning experience. Whenever we want to implement lightning component for a specific requirement, first of all, we have to see whether it is possible or not in lightning experience out of the box. Okay, in lightning experience also we have administration setup, right? So with that, whether it is possible or not, if it is not possible, then you have to come up with the lightning component. When you want to implement lightning component, you should know what are the lightning tags or lightning components available in the lightning component library. Okay, this is the lightning component library. If you see here, you have different kinds of tags. Okay, you have lightning tags and you have aura tags. Okay, and you have what all the namespaces we have available in the lightning components, lightning component implementation, and you can see the events also. Okay, and these things are interfaces, and these are the events and components. With the lightning namespace, we have these components, these tags: accordion and accordion section, and you can see all the outputs also here. Okay, and here you can see how you can utilize what all the attributes it supports. Okay, so while you are doing these things, first of all you have to go through this component library, then you will get to know what it is. Okay, and here also you can see what all the components you have and how the output looks like. If you talk about this accordion, it will be like this, and if it is accordion section, it will be like this. And avatar, that means you can have avatars also, that means icons like that. I mean, you can have avatars also here. Badges, how can you implement badge in a lightning component? By using lightning badge tag. How you can have breadcrumbs? By using breadcrumb tag. Okay, and how you can have different kinds of buttons. If you look into this button user interface, okay, you have red and success. Okay, background is blue, like that. For everything there are different properties for the lightning button tag. Okay, you can have that also. How you can group the buttons? By using button group you can. Okay, and for button icons you can have button icon stateful tag. Okay, for everything, for a lot of implementations, Salesforce giving the out of box tags. For example, dual box for multi-select pick list or multi-select box. For customized multi-select box, you can have this dual list box. Okay, and dynamic icons. See, if you observe these images, by using these images, you can decide what tags you can use for our specific requirement. That means you have to go through everything in the component library before you are going to implement lightning component. Okay, what I mean, you should have the knowledge on this lightning component library, what all the tags we have and what all the tags available for the for our specific requirement, what all the tags we have to use to get this output. Those are all the things we have to know by implementing these things. Okay, you have for everything you have example also. If you see this, so you can see examples. Okay, how can you format the things and how can you do this? Okay, see how can you do date picker, how can you have uh, other date formats also. Okay, these things you can implement. Okay. Only the thing is you have to practice everything before you are going to use. You have to practice these kind of things, then you can have the idea to make it useful in your lightning component. Along with this, okay, to design your user interface, for implementing you need a tags, and for giving the input you need the tag. For giving input and taking input from the component to the server side, you need the lightning tags, what all the things we have and what are the attributes we need to use. But to design user interface, as we already said, if we go to lightning experience, let's go to lightning experience. So if I click on new, for example, see, it looks like a pop-up and with the different kinds of yeah, the input types. Okay, I mean pick list or lookups and all, and you have cancel, save and new save buttons in the footer. These kind of user interface, if you want to implement, okay, then you have to depend on Lightning design system. Okay, this Lightning design system you can have in the lightningdesignsystem.com. It is open source. You can include this design Lightning design system in your static resources also. But whenever you are implementing whenever you are including these Lightning components in the Lightning experience only, other than in Visualforce pages, okay, then you don't need to include this Lightning design system in the static resources also. You can utilize the classes what defined by the Salesforce. For example, if you go to the utilities, okay, and for example, component builders, accordion. So see, if you see here, this is accordions. Okay, accordion summary like this, and you just need to copy paste these things into your component, and it will give you the user interface based on this classes, SLDS classes. Then in between, wherever you need content, wherever you want to put your icons, wherever you want to put your input tags, you can include and you can have the user interface. Okay. Previously, uh, previous to this Lightning design system, to implement such type of a rich user interface, you always need to depend on CSS, okay, or otherwise JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap, these kind of things. But now Salesforce come up with their own library. We are giving you library. You can utilize this library to make your user interface better and better as we are giving you in the Lightning experience, because we are providing the same library which we are using in the Lightning experience. You can use the same thing from the Lightning design system. That's what that means. To implement user interface for your Lightning component, to design user interface for your Lightning component, you don't need to be the designer. Okay, even you are a developer, you just need to go through the Lightning design system, what are the classes we have, and you can have, see, output also you can see. If I change this, it looks like this. Toggle selection, it looks like this. Okay, section 1 like this. These things, by changing this, then automatically it is going to change the design also. You just need to copy paste, and you just need to remove the unused things, and you just need to replace with your content. But the classes and whatever they give, you just need to make it as is, and you can see the output. That means you don't need to be the designer. You don't need to know the CSS. You just need to have a basic knowledge how to apply. Okay, you don't need to be the big designer to you to do user interface in Lightning experience, because Salesforce is giving the libraries for Lightning through Lightning design system. You can see here, get started, they are giving, see, Lightning experience, Salesforce one, all these user interfaces for they are giving styles. Okay, so if you go to cards also, you can see that. See, you can see compact. See, compete like this. Only the thing is, you just need to use this uh, user interface. You just need to use the classes, SLDS, CSS classes, and just need to copy paste and make it whatever you want. So with this, what we learned, we have, whenever we want to implement a Lightning component, first thing is we have to see what all the components, what all the tags we have in Lightning component library, and to design user interface, you should know what all the things available in the Lightning design system. After that, you can have your implementation. Okay, let's see how we can create a Lightning component now. See here, go to Light Developer Console. new, and here lightning component. Okay, as I told you, we have different types of interfaces. Okay, see, if you look at here, you have different types of interfaces which has the specific meaning. If you want to override an action on detail page, for example, if I click on new in the uh, account tab, then I want to show my lightning component instead of instead of standard lightning experience component. Okay, so then you have to use action override. You can see that. Okay, see, you have to use that action override in the implements attribute. For everything there is a meaning. You have to go through these things also. What is the use of that? And if you want to get the detailed record ID, wherever you want, you place your lightning component, you in the record detail page, you want to get that record ID automatically, then you should have this user and this interface. Force colon has record ID. If you have this, you can get these things. You can get the current record ID where your component is placed. Like that, for every user, for every interface also, you have different types of meanings. So here also, if you see, so if you want to make this component as a lightning tab, you have to click this. You have to check this checkbox. Okay. By using this, your component automatically implements few interfaces if you check these checkboxes. And if you want to make this lightning, if you want to make this available in the lightning pages, you can have this. And if you want to make this available in the lightning, I mean in record detail pages and to get the record ID, then you can have. And if you want to include the lightning component which you are implementing in the communities, lightning communities, we have different templates to implement lightning communities. Okay, in that lightning communities, if you want to make your component available, you have to check this checkbox, otherwise you can't see. And if you want to make this component available for a quick action on the object, then you have to check this checkbox. If you see this, see, now I'm going to have this Techbook device test component. Let's see. If you see, it is app hostable and available for all types of pages, available for record home and has record ID, all types of user interfaces. I mean interfaces implemented, not user interfaces. Okay, so for every interface there is a specific meaning. You may have doubt, if I didn't check the checkboxes, then how can I implement this this interface? Okay, how can I include that interface to make my component available for communities? Okay, to make my component available for record detail page, to make my component available for quick action. How can you do it? You can include here also, but you have to go through the lightning component library, and according to that you have to include in the implements attribute. This is the implements attribute. Okay, now I'm going to write one thing, welcome. Welcome to Salesforce Techbook. So to see this output, for now I'm going to add one application to see the output. Let's see how we can add an application. So if you see this, you have one checkbox here, app. Okay, lightning out dependency app. Whenever you want to include a component in a visual force page, then you have to check this checkbox. Then your component with application which you are implementing now, in that it will be available in the visual force page. That means you can include that application in the visual force page along with the component inside that application. Okay, otherwise you can't include the application in the visual force page. Okay, why you need to include? Sometimes people don't want to um, have lightning experience, but they want to have a lightning user interface in the classic itself. Still they want to see visual force pages, but they want to have lightning component in the lightning in visual force page. Then also you can have. But and one more scenario is they don't want to move, they don't want to remove the visual force page, but still they want to have lightning component in the visual force page. Then you can have this lightning application and the component implementation. You can include that application in the lightning visual force page. And you may have another doubt: if I don't have lightning component but still I want to use lightning user interface in the visual force pages, can I use? Yes, you can apply lightning design system resources in the visual force page. For that you have a small tag, lightning designs, lightning styles, something else, include lightning styles. There is a separate tag to include lightning styles in the visual force page. Then you can apply those things. Okay, this is how we can use. For now, let's see how we can create lightning app. So create a lightning app. So to include our lightning component, we just need to use C colon. This is the default namespace. If your organization is not having any namespace, you have to use the default namespace C colon and your component name. Done. Okay. Now you can see the output. So welcome to Salesforce Techbook. There is no design. Now what we are going to see? We are going to apply our styles. Okay, let's see. So always component will have different parts. I will explain later. Okay, component will have different parts. What I am doing, this component part will have markup which is useful for user interface. But to run this component separately, then you have to create an application. Okay, I have created one application. Then for that, for including that component in the application, I have used default namespace and component name. Okay, and if you observe here, for the component you don't have a preview option, it's just the implementation. But in the application you have preview option to run to execute this component. Okay, exactly. Yes, you will see all you will see all the out. Yes, you will see the everything. Okay, so you can ask the questions at the end of the class. Now, now what we are trying to do, we are going to apply lightning design system. How we are going to apply? Let's see. Today we are going to apply lightning design system. How we can apply? For now, go to lightning design system. Okay, here you have a lightning um, design system opened, and I'm going to use this card. Okay, structuring a card. Okay. This styles I'm going to use. I'm going to copy and paste. So if you see here, this SVG, these things won't support. If we have to support this SVG, then we have to write a code in the SVG component here. But now we don't need to have this SVG used for like icons, for placing icons and all. But now Salesforce came up with the separate tag, that is lightning icon tag. You can include any icon from the Salesforce side. Okay. So where you can see that, go to lightning library and here lightning icon. Okay, just take this. And now you can remove this account, anything if you want, or contact also. It will give you contact icon if you place contact. If you place if you include campaign, it will give campaign icon. If you give account, it will give account icon. Now don't have anything. Let's see. So if I run this component by using our application, let's see what is the output. See, it looks like nothing. It is not having any design. So whenever you are running a component through an application, then you have to include SLDS in your application. Okay, there is an attribute extends. Okay, here you have to extend. That means you have to inherit SLDS styles by using extends attribute force colon SLDS. See how it looks like? And I'll put this welcome to Salesforce Techbook in the body. This is the body. See? Usually, to make this user interface, we need more time. But we have implemented this user interface in few minutes because of Lightning Design System. So, whenever you want to design any user interface, you should have idea about the Lightning Design System. So then you can implement any user interface which is replica of a Lightning Experience user interface. So go through the Lightning Design System and what are the components available, what are the utilities available, how we can utilize, everything will be there. Okay, and where it supports also, it will have. Next, now we know how to apply Lightning Design System, right? Now let's create a small component with the inputs. So I'll take UI inputs for now, or you can have Lightning inputs also. Okay, see, I'm going to copy paste, nothing else. And can change calculator. Let's see how it looks like. See, it looks like this. And now I'm going to change this. If you observe, I'm just replacing the things. With this, you will learn how to use design system and how to add components and how to manipulate the component input also. Let's see. Result. So for placeholder also, you can give placeholder means it's a default text. Let's see. See, result. You can type. Okay. Let's see one more thing. Type number and we don't need value. And you can have placeholder. First number. Second number. Okay. Let's see. So please enter first number, enter second number and result. Now I'm going to make this new button as add, addition. Let's see, or sum. So just click on preview. Okay, if I click on this button, what should happen? It should take the value from here and it should sum the result. Let's see what we have to do. Here you have to write a method. So where you can write the logic, okay? Whenever you create a component, it creates the component bundle. See, a lightning component bundle created with the component name. Then it will create and it will have different components under that. One is component, another one is controller, another one is helper, style, documentation, renderer, design, and SVG. I already explained these things. Okay. Component always have markup. Controller always have a logic in the JavaScript with JavaScript, and helper also will have helper methods with the JavaScript. Okay. These controller and helper can invoke the Apex controller methods also. Okay. And styles. Whenever you want to apply externals, I mean any other styles, or if you want to override the styles also, you can make that things in the style component. And documentation, whenever you want to describe about your components, then you can have documentation. Whenever you want to render something, or any showing or hiding these things, okay, we have renderer thing, you can have it. Otherwise we have other things also to render components. And design, whenever you want to give default, whenever you want to give the provision to the sales rep or someone to add this component anywhere, but they want to define their own values by default, then you can have a design. And this SVG will be useful for icons, for specifying our icons, whatever the icons you want to specify. So now we have directly, if we have, or if you want to have a standard icon from Salesforce, you can use lightning icon. Okay. Now Let's see. Now what I am going to do, I want to write a method where I can write in the controller or helper. Now I want to add a method. See, it gave you the method structure also. Okay, this is the method name and this is the function. If you know jQuery, something like that, you can see this approach. Okay, this is the method name and these are all the parameters of that method. Okay, component represents this component where you have this controller, and event represents if there is any events, then it can recognize the events. And helper, if you want to invoke the methods of the helper, then you can have, otherwise no need. And even you can remove event helper attributes also, parameters also, if you don't need. Okay, let's see. First thing is we want to get the value from the this lightning input. Okay, for that you have to specify id for every input component. Ara colon id, this is you have to specify, otherwise you can specify id also, but lightning can't recognize it. Let's see what we can do. First number, okay, and second number, and result 10. So let's see what we can do. Go to controller and where equals component dot find of, you have to put your id dot get of v dot value. So in JavaScript normally we use document dot get element by id to get the input from the input components, but in lightning component you can use component dot find method and get of v dot value. Whenever we write like this, it will find out the component by using the aura id which you specified, and then it can get the value from that. Let's put alert whether it is able to get or not any errors also. So we return the method and we have to invoke this method when button clicks. Then go to button. Where is button? Okay, on click equals, this is the method. Okay, c dot alert hi, no input. For now I am giving 122, it will give 122. See, it give. Now the same way we are going to take the input from second number and addition. Where second number equals component dot find of s number v dot value. Then we want to set this output to our result. What is the ID of the result? Component dot find of this and set of v dot value. Then you have to give your output. Plus Let's see the output. 22. See, if you see here, it is not converting to integer. Then what you have to do in JavaScript, it will take it as number. I mean, it will take it as a string. Okay, let's see. So let's see all the doubts at the end of the session. See, so what you have to do? How to make it? Parse int, right? Same way. See, 4. Done. This is how we can include this. Now, I'm going to remove alerts. I'm going to make it as quick action on account. Let's see how we can make it as make this available on account record detail piece as a quick action. Okay. Now we don't to make this component. We don't need to have a application. Okay. And even you remove from application also, it is okay. But you just need to have a component which should have a lightning quick action interface implemented in your component. Then this component will be available for the quick action. So let's see how we can create a quick action. First of all, what is quick action? Can you, if you open this, and here you have new contact, new case, and new note. Okay, you want to put one more thing here. These are all the quick actions only. To make your component in this quick actions, then you are going to create one quick action now. How you can create? Go to setup, and then object manager, accounts, buttons and actions, and new action. Okay, here action type is a lightning component and test component. Done. And you can have calculator. Okay, now you have to add this on the layout. Go to page layouts and account layout. Click on edit. Here you have lightning actions. You have to take mobile and lightning actions, and you have calculator. Add here and save. Done. Let's see. So if I click on this calculator, see, gives like this. Okay, and 2, 3, result 41. You can close, or you can cancel. Done. This is how we can have we can create a lightning component. We can create a lightning component, and to run that separately, instead of having that component on the lightning experience, then you can have an application and you have to include lightning component in the application. Okay, but if you want to include that component in the detail pages or lightning pages, you don't need to include that component in the lightning application. And if you are using the lightning component in the lightning experience in the detail pages or in the lightning pages, you don't need to extend that force colon SLDS also. You don't need to have a static resources also. Whatever the styles you are taking from the lightning design system, it will apply as is. Okay. Now we saw how to create a lightning component and how to apply our lightning design system and how to take the input by using component.find without attributes. Okay, but okay, then now if you are taking like this, okay, according to best practices, you should not take any value by using find and get until you have the specific reason. Okay, always you have to define attributes, or otherwise you have to take the values from the Apex controller or dynamically. Okay, not with the JavaScript find methods and all. Okay, so for that, what I am going to do, see here, if you create a create ARA attributes, then it is easy for you. ARA attribute and name equal f number. You can give any number. Type equal integer or decimal. Same way, and these are all attributes like properties in the Visual Force pages. Okay, you are defining the properties here for the lightning component. Now, how can you pass the data from lightning component to controller and controller to lightning component by using these attributes? You have to specify these things in the value attribute of this inputs, value and v dot. You have to take view. You have to take that attribute by using v dot attribute name. Okay, and same thing for this, and this will be s number, this will be result. Okay, done. Now how we can change this and how we can utilize the same thing from attributes. So here we don't need to use this. Instead of v dot value, you are going to put this and you are going to remove this. Same thing, instead of v dot value, you are going to specify your attribute name to get the value. Same way, you don't need to find the things. Removed, and I'm just replacing to make you understand. Okay, see. So now let's see. See. So whenever you change something in lightning component, okay, to reflect that change on the lightning experience. Here, for example, in our case, uh, sometimes it will take some time. Okay, so you just need to refresh the page and see the output. That's it, nothing else. So I can see an account again. See, done. Okay, cancel. So this is how we can do. So in the next class, we are going to have how to invoke Apex controller by using by using Lightning component and from a JavaScript controller. How we can do that, we are going to see in the next session.